Hey there, y'all. Disney D Prince here today with part 2 of my first project series, which is rerouting this Mackie face sculpt with some new hair after her hair had been just kind of decimated and was unable to be restored through all the methods that were known to me. I'm not sure if it was just bad nylon hair or what it was, but the point is, she has been cleaned up, she has had all of her plugs removed, and she is ready for some new hair. So, the first step that we have is getting your ReRoot kit. I got this one on Amazon. It's just kind of basic. So it should be pretty easy to set up. It did come with 2 hole punchers also. And the hole punchers are responsible for the and the hole punchers are for if you have a head that is not pre-punched like we already have because we removed hair. And there are a bunch of different needles to choose from, as you can see. And I'm just gonna go with this needle. As you can see, there's just a little tiny hook on there. And we just kind of wind that into our chuck, and that's how you would set up your reroot tool. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some hair and we're just gonna pop it into these holes right here. Now, I've never used this reroot tool, so we are gonna kind of see whether or not this actually works. But I do have 2 different colors of brown hair that I'm gonna use. I think my game plan is I'm gonna use the lighter brown right here around the front hairline and the part, and then alternate plugs between the light and the dark everywhere else, just so that way she's got some highlights to frame her face. So I think with that we're gonna start doing the hairline first, just because it's got the tightest holes that are right there. So we're gonna take this and put it off to the side for now, because we're gonna use just the lighter one first. But I'm gonna try to keep my area clean in the meanwhile. Those are the 2 little hole punchers, which I may have to use. I don't know. We'll see how this first one goes. Again, this is braiding hair that I picked up at a like an Amazon return store. I think these go for like $24 online, because it's really long. This is like probably about like 18 to 20 inches of hair, designed for braiding and extensions. So this is not technically doll hair, so I'm going to use it just because this is what I was able to find, and I thought if it's good enough for people to put in their hair, then it should be good enough for a doll. So here it is. As you can see, it's very pretty. It is done in like 3 strands, so I do have to take this bottom rubber band off to unwind it. And I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but it's gonna go, because I don't have a choice. I have to take it off. So I think what I'm gonna just do is just slide it down. I probably, actually, you know what, I'm gonna cut it, because I have other rubber bands. So now that we've got those out of the way, we can just kind of unbraid these carefully. So what we want to try to do is get up to this top part up here where everything is just doubled over. And that's an easier way to unbundle that. So we have all of this hair that is now ready to go. Here's the Barbie head for scale. This would be some really long hair, but it would be really pretty hair, I think. And again, this cost me about $1.50. So I figured I may as well. And the nice thing is it's already doubled over. So what I'm gonna try to do is keep this to where it is easy enough to get up. Okay. So I think my best bet is gonna be to use this little thing that I have over here, which is just a rack that I got from Target, of all places. But I think this is gonna be my best kind of bet, is to just keep it right there, because then I can take that off and not worry about it falling off like that. So what you want to do is you just want to get just enough in there to just enough in there like that. So here's my first plug. You want to hold it tight. You are going to lose some hair during this process, so don't do this in an area where you're worried about hair being lost. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in just like that. And there's our first plug. Oh. Came out just a little bit too easy. I don't love that. Again, this is my learning process as well. So it did go in, so I'm not worried about the holes being too small, I guess. I just have to figure out how to keep the tension tight with my big ass fingers. So what we're gonna do, and I did put that right at the hairline. I started my first one. So there's that first plug. And we do have a lot of hair in there. The next step is going to be doing the rest of the hairline. So it's gonna take a hot minute to do all this, because you do have to keep everything separate. But it should be a fun process. But that is setting up the tool and getting your hair ready and doing your first plug. So let's see if we can get all of this going. So this may be a little bit of a pain because of how long the hair is, especially for this project. But it should work eventually, and I lost about half that plug, but that's okay. Because I can just take this and do it like this now. There we go. See, we got 3 plugs right there ready to go. So this may be a part that I do time-lapsed. I haven't decided, but we're just going to continue this all along the front and try to do as much of this in a nice pattern as possible. All of this is going to get trimmed because I'm obviously not going to give her like 20-inch hair, but you know, we'll work on that as we get it. But I am trying to keep all of this hair to where it's not getting tangled, which is probably going to be a little harder. Maybe I should use some fabric softener to wind it down. That might be the best bet. But so I am winding up with quite a lot of flyaways, so I may have to trim this hair to get it to where it is a little bit more manageable. But it's gonna be very cute once it's done, I think. So I don't know how people keep this stuff straight when they're doing braiding for heads, but I think that's just one of those things that makes people really skilled when they do braiding. But Now normally, if you are going to if you're going to do like a long reroot, like if I were to do my Rapunzel reroot with this length of hair, I would be really concerned with how long certain parts were. But for now, because I'm not actually that concerned about it, because I am going to trim it all, I'm not super worried about that. Because I think what I'm going to actually try to do is give her a like a 1950s glam kind of look. But as you can see, it does take some effort. So if you're ever wondering why rerooters charge so much, that's why. And at the very end of this, I am going to put fabric tack inside the head, most likely, to keep everything secured. And I'm going to try to not have a huge amount of hair that's just hanging out in my area. But with all this, there is bound to be runoff, which is why I say if you're going to do this method, probably do it with doll hair that's not as staticky. But that's kind of what we got going on with what I had available, because I didn't order doll hair, because a lot of it takes a good chunk of time to get here from overseas where it's manufactured. I don't know if there's a better way to do this where I would just be able to keep it nice, probably on a hook, but I don't really have a hook right now. So I'm just gonna try to keep it as nice as I can.